and we have a right to health. As I speak here, some health institutions in my constituency, they have been banned, some they have been destroyed, and people, they are not getting treatment just because those health facilities, they were banned by these bandits from the Pokot community. And by so doing, people are dying just because they are not getting treatment, because the health centers, they were banned. If I can give you an example, the health center at Napeitom Center, it was banned on 1st of August last year, before we went to election, where we lost about 19 people. They were burned alive. Mr. Speaker, we have a right also to live. As I speak here, I have said we have lost 38 people. These are Kenyans who are supposed to live, but they have denied by these people, they have denied them their right to live. Mr. Speaker, as also Kenyans, we have a right to be represented. As I speak here, I do miss the session of this house, just not because I don't want to be here, but to go down there and convince my people and bury them. Mr. Speaker, it is really a serious issue which needs to be to get a concern from the government agency.
Give me a minute to wind up. 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, we also have a right to our own property, of which people from my constituency, they don't want, some of them, their property have been destroyed, some stolen, and now they own anything now, they don't have anything now to own. And the other thing also, Mr. Speaker, we have also the right to hail anywhere in this country as per the constitution. But now some areas in my constituency, people have been chased away, and they have become displaced, and it's their right to live where they have decided to live. The other issue also, Mr. Speaker, which I want the security team to know, is the operation in the North Rift. We are talking of operation being in the North Rift, but as I speak here, there is nothing like operation in the North Rift. Because if operation is in the North Rift, where are these helicopters we are talking about? Where are the security officers we are talking about? Where are these tankers we are talking about? It is nothing going on in the North Rift in the name of operation. The government needed to address the issue of operation in North Rift so that we can avoid losing lives of these people. In fact, women, they are being killed. It is a shame for men to kill women and children. If in our culture, if a man dies, if you are killed looking after your livestock, we do say you have killed in the line of duty, because that's our duty. We look after our animals, we protect them. So it is our duty. But why to kill women? Why to kill pregnant women? Why to kill small kids? It is a shame to these people who are killing these women, who are just innocent. Mr. Speaker, I had a lot to say, but because of time, I can give my colleagues to contribute over this issue, which is emotional. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The member for Turkana, Honorable Cecilia Ngitit.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise up to add my voice on the adjournment motion tabled by my colleague, Honorable Nicholas Nkor, MP for Turkana East. Mr. Speaker, this is the second time in less than 6 months that we are tabling an adjournment motion talking about insecurity in the north. And in this particular moment, we are talking about Turkana East. Honorable Speaker, so much is happening in Turkana, and I don't know why is the government paying a deaf ear and a blind eye to our cry. Honorable Speaker, many people have been killed in Turkana due to banditry. If you look at today's issue raised by Honorable Nicholas Nkolong, 4 of his members are lying lifelessly just on their soil in Turkana. Not that they had gone to aggressively attack anyone else, but they have been killed in their own home place. Honorable Speaker, even today as we speak here, one of our roads is not passable, an A1 road, Kitale to Lodwa. Today, a shuttle that was en route Lodwa via Kainuk was attacked. Bullets were just sprayed indiscriminately. One person has been killed, and many people are critically injured, Mr. Speaker. And then there is a new one that has started again. Our border riders are never safe today in Turkana. When they are driving in those bushy roads in our rural places, they are just sprayed bullets and their bikes are taken away. And all these atrocities are committed by none other but our neighbors, Pokots, Bwana Speaker. I don't know what is happening. There is an operation going on in Turkana and Pokot, but attacks are so rampant than before. The security agencies down there are in bed with bandits. We are even told bandits charge their phones in their security homes as they carry their guns along with them. Honorable Speaker, even our game park, our game reserve is now a grazing land by our neighbors, and our wild animals are not safe. They are being killed for their sources or something. So, Honorable Speaker, it is so sad in Turkana. As the Honorable Nkolong puts it, our children have not gone to school.
Member for Inapkoi, what's out of order?
Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 83. Mr. Speaker, the matters that the members of Parliament from Turkana are raising are extremely important, very serious, and it warrants the Cabinet Secretary in charge of security to appear before this House to respond to these issues. Would I be in order, Mr. Speaker, to ask my very good friend, the Honorable Nkikoro, if you can direct him to seek answers from the Cabinet Secretary? Because listening to them, Mr. Speaker, we will all ventilate on this motion in a very animated manner and with a lot of compassion. But unfortunately, we will not be able to resolve anything. Would I be in order, Mr. Speaker, that you direct the Honorable Nkikoro to bring in a question to order the Speaker, to order the Cabinet Secretary to stand here and respond to the issues that the members have raised that are extremely very serious and of serious concern to the members of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, Article 95 of the Constitution provides that members of Parliament resolve matters that are of concern to the people. This is one of the matters which the Cabinet Secretary for Security should appear here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Chepkonga, the point is well taken, but the member also availed himself to another standing order of the House. He doesn't extinguish his right to bring a question. Yeah, he also has the right, using a standing orders, to bring a motion of adjournment, which he has done. So Honorable Nkikoro is listening to you. That option is available to him in the future. For now, we'll go on with the debate on the motion as moved. Honorable Cecilia, proceed. There you are.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On the same note, Honorable Speaker, our Constitution provides that every Kenyan has a right for security, a right for his or her property to be protected, Honorable Speaker. But the Turkana person is not assured of the security. Neither is the property owned down there in terms of livestock is assured or secure as per the law, Honorable Speaker. So I normally sit down and just cry that, do we belong to this country? Do the Turkana people belong to this country, Honorable Speaker? Do we have to lose, how many people do we have to lose? Especially to our neighbors, our fellow Kenyans, by the name of Pokots, for the government to come to our rescue, Bwana Speaker. How many women must die for this government to hear our cry? How many children must die for this government to hear our cry, Bwana Speaker? It is high time I'm crying to you, Honorable Kindiki. It is high time you come down there, just find out what is the problem with our neighbors. I have talked many things in this house, and I've even come up to know that it is about land. These people want to kill our people so that they are scared out of their land, and then they occupy this land. But we are telling you, Until the last Turkana breathes on this earth, we will not lose even an inch of our land to you. However many people you will kill all of us, not an inch of our land will go away. We have protected our land even from the external aggression. When I speak, Turkana people are being killed by Ethiopians. Turkana people are killed by Sudanese. Turkana people are killed by Ugandans. And here we are killed by Kenyans. Who are we? Who are we, Bwana Speaker? Are we children of a lesser God? So, Bwana Speaker, please, I don't know if we are getting solutions in this house. If we can have an adjournment motion of the same topic in less than 6 months and nothing has happened. I brought an adjournment motion here 3 months ago. Nothing has happened as we speak. Instead, bandits do charging of their phones in those camps where the military are doing the operations from. Instead, the commanders of the military are in bed with leaders of another community, and then most of us, we don't even know who they are. Bwana Speaker, it is so sad. It is so sad. Now, I'm appealing to the leaders from our neighbors. Please talk to your people. Pursue the Turkana people until when you are satisfied. But please, spare the innocent travelers. Spare the innocent travelers who are just traveling. Mr. Speaker, the last weekend, we buried a ward administrator who was shot dead on our way. The other month, we buried a university student who was ferrying a sick mother to Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital. She was killed, and the mother was suffering from cancer. And I want to thank my governor. He paid for the medical bill for that mother to be flown to India recently. Bwana Speaker, things that are happening down in Turkana will not make you to be a proud leader. I am not a proud leader of the Turkana people today, because the people I represent are dying every minute, not because of sickness, but because of insecurity. Honorable Speaker, I think I have no enough words. I have no enough words in this house to just describe the same thing. I just want to rest it there. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, I wish to recognize the presence of polling schools in the Speaker's Gallery. Lona Laboso Secondary School from Sotik in Bomet County. Genesis Secondary School from Kapenguria, West Pokot. We welcome the students from these schools to follow the proceedings of the House this evening. The next speaker would be the Honorable Paul. Order, the Honorable Anjala. You just walked in. The Honorable Paul Biego of Chesumei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity also to add in a bit of weight to what is being discussed in the adjournment motion about our great people from Turkana County. As I sit here and hear the members of parliament actually articulating their points so emotionally, I also feel a bit embarrassed that the things that are being discussed each and every time, and there is no solution. And actually, as the senior member also stood on a point of order and was requesting that the CS be here or be summoned, I think I strongly support that, because if the member of parliament from Turkana has raised the same issue 3 months ago and nothing has happened, then there is a big problem, Mr. Speaker. I feel the plight of the Turkana people, and that is why I congratulate the member of parliament from Turkana East, Mr. or Honorable Nicholas, for having actually brought this. This should actually be declared as a national disaster, and if people actually who are innocently traveling or traversing the country, little do they know that they are going to meet their death, and are not natural calamities, but because of fellow human beings, it is quite unfortunate. And we call upon the government, the security agencies, to actually come to speed so that this issue is resolved. Mr. Speaker, for how long will we be just talking without action? For how long will we see members of parliament shedding tears in the floor of the House and no action is being taken place? It's a real big shame for the security agencies, and actually, as a matter of urgency, as a matter of actually quick action, something ought to be done, and the Minister of Internal Security should actually act as immediate as now. Because if we are being told that there are 4 bodies lying lifeless as we speak, what about tomorrow? What about the next day? So I think there is more to it, Mr. Speaker, than meets the eye. And it is very unfortunate that it is not even external threat. External threat in that region is there because they are being killed also by foreigners. But in this particular case, Mr. Speaker, it is our own Kenyans. Kenyans living within that region. It is just because of issues to do with maybe cattle rustling. And it is too unfortunate that because of these earthly things of wealth is we are losing lives. So, Mr. Speaker, I think the Turkana people really should be taken care of. And that is why I've stood here to support an immediate action. If there is something that this House, this floor you can order, please order for real action to take place. Otherwise, it's very unfortunate, and I'm really very sorry for what is happening in Turkana. Thank you. I rest my case.
Thank you. I wish that the chairperson of the concerned was in the House today, the chairman of the Committee on Security, because this is a very important motion, I think, and they should be informed accordingly. The Honorable Irene Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank the member for bringing this motion to the floor of the House, because this is a matter that is very emotive. And it's actually very sad, Honorable Speaker, to see one of our members shedding tears as she speaks about this, because she knows firsthand the issues that her people are grappling with. Honorable Speaker, I just want to say that, number one, the fact that we've had this adjournment motion coming here twice now, it is about time that the Minister for Internal Security has a sit-down meeting with all the leaders from Turkana and the people as well, so that they understand what exactly are the issues that they're grappling with. And Honorable Speaker, asking the minister questions when he comes here is not enough, because we need to ventilate on this matter so that he understands, together with his officers, just how much of a grave issue this is. Honorable Speaker, we are having situations in this country where, for example, when we had maandamano in Kisii, and there was no property destroyed, but the police agencies there, they even got extra police officers from Migori, from all over, to beef up that, to come and watch over demonstrators who are just doing peaceful demonstration, instead of beefing up security where it is actually needed. And this is a situation where, Honorable Speaker, I just want to say that I don't think the Minister for Internal Security has his priorities right. We cannot have a situation in this country where people are dying and fighting every other day. You're not getting enough police, beefing up police in that particular area, but you want to come and beef up security where we are doing our demonstrations for issues on cost of living. That is having your priorities upside down. And Honorable Speaker, this matter, even as much as we are dealing with it here as an adjournment motion, I also think that this is a matter that needs much more concentration on. This is a matter that as a country we need to speak about, because today it could be Turkana, we don't know if tomorrow it will be Baringo, or the other day it could be closer to our areas where we stay, or the borders where we stay. We don't know who will be affected next. And Honorable Speaker, unfortunately, when such things happen, the people who get affected the most are our mothers and our children. They're the ones who suffer the most. And that is why it is not surprising when you see the Honorable member for Turkana crying tears when she is talking about these issues. Because as a mother, she feels it more than anyone else. And Honorable Speaker, as I conclude so that we give other members enough time to speak about this, it's just to urge the government of the day that security is a vital, important issue that cannot be dealt with as something that is just a second hand. We cannot afford and allow this country to deal with security matters in such manner. We cannot allow to be in a country where we have state agencies giving more concentration to demonstrators, something that is covered in Article 37, instead of dealing with the issues that are affecting our fellow Kenyans who are living in the areas of Turkana. Honorable Speaker, so as I speak, I just want to urge and encourage our members from Turkana and tell them that we will continue to speak on this matter along with them. We will continue to support them as they ventilate on this matter until something happens, until there's action from our internal security minister. I thank you.
MB4, Govt County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first of all, let me appreciate the effort by the Member of Parliament from Turkana County. And indeed, Mheshimiwa, it's a little, Mr. Speaker, is painful if we have to be talking about the same thing every now and then. If you read Chapter 4 of the Constitution of Kenya, Article 26, every person has a right to life. And if you read Article 27, it says every person is equal before the law and has a right to protection and equal benefits of the law. Mr. Speaker, at times it's very frustrating whenever a member of parliament becomes helpless. If a member of parliament, like my sister Cecilia, is almost crying in the floor of the house because of the insecurity in our region, you can imagine what the other people in Turkana County are feeling, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this issue, as much as the government is trying, we appreciate what the government is doing so far. But then, Mr. Speaker, I think maybe enough is not also done on the culprits or the perpetrators of banditry. Maybe just the security people are deterring them from attacking. But then we've never seen as many people as we should being charged in our courts of law over the issues of banditry. Because, Mr. Speaker, each and every time, I also am, my county is a victim of the same. But every time there is an attack, the security personnel will react, but none is arrested. None has been charged. We should be seeing more people being taken to the court of law and being charged. Because, Mr. Speaker, at times, if human beings can see just the government talking about it, the criminals might not take it so seriously. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, yesterday in the evening, 3 days ago and yesterday in the evening, there was an attack in Elgeyo Marakwet County and 2 people were killed. Barely 2 kilometers from there where the security camp is there. That tells you that these human beings are so daring. So long as they get an opportunity to attack and run away, they can't hesitate and give you a chance. Mr. Speaker, I also want to call out on members of parliament, especially from the Pokot County. Many a times when people talk or when people speak in this county, they point fingers at the Pokot leaders. When somebody from Samburu speaks, they point the finger at the Pokot leaders. When a Turkana speaks, the same. When a Marakwet speaks, the same. It is too unfortunate that when you are discussing such an emotive issues, members from that county are missing, completely missing. It means it is not, they are not even remorseful of what other people are going through. It means that it doesn't bother them. The security issue affecting other people is not of their concern. Mr. Speaker, if an issue is being discussed here about Elgeyo Marakwet County, and especially Elgeyo Marakwet being discussed as an aggressor, Mr. Speaker, I must be here to be in solidarity with other members of parliament, to show that at least I feel what other people are going through. But if we all disappear, or we ensure that we are not there when this issue is discussed, it leaves us with more questions than answers, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the issue of security has made people poor. People have been robbed of their property. People have been moved from their homes, Mr. Speaker. People are helpless. Nowadays, people don't even travel to Lodwar by road. They'd rather fly or stay. Not because they have money, Mr. Speaker, to fly, but because you're not sure if you will get there or not. Mr. Speaker, each and every time students from Elgeyo Marakwet are admitted to Lodwar High School, their parents cannot let their children go because you are not sure if they will get to where they are going. It leaves you wondering if we are in the same Kenya as the other parts of the country. And maybe that is the reason why people from Turkana, when they are coming to Nairobi, they always say we are going to Kenya. Maybe they feel that they are isolated.
The MP for West Pokot.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity also to say something about the insecurity issues in North Rift. I want to complain loudly that this issue is affecting all or almost 3 counties in North Rift, and that is between Marakwet, Turkana, Pokot, and the others. So I want to also register my complaint that as these leaders from Turkana talk about banditry or Pokot being bandits, I want to say that this is an incitement. It is not in order because I know bandits are people who are unlawful, people who are not having any property to lose. They're just thieves like these ones, like the robbers who are here in Nairobi. So it is not good. It is not in order for the members from Turkana and even my friend from Marakwet to say that all Pokots or Pokots are bandits. I want to say that these people who are killing are just low.
Honorable, the MP for West Pokot, your time is running out.
Before I want to say that as they complain, they are not mentioning the people who have been killed by Marakwet or by Turkanas. Like recently, 3 weeks ago, 5 ladies were killed in a place called Laminyeusi, and they were killed by suspects from Turkana. I'm not saying those who killed the Pokots are all Turkanas. There are only a few unlawful people. So I want to also say that as we talk about this insecurity issue, let us address it with a lot of sobriety so that we don't condemn and bring animosity among our people. Because as we talk, or as my colleagues from Turkana talk about this, in West Pokot County, we have Turkanas who live in Gacheliba constituency. We have Turkanas who live in Makutano. We have Turkanas who live in Chepareria. And we are not killing them. We are living with them harmoniously. It's only a problem of a few individuals who have sought to kill others because of their own benefits. So as these leaders are complaining, I'm also complaining and requesting the Minister for Insecurity or for Security to take action about those who are killing others, because we all have the right to be protected by the government. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to say I want to request all the leaders to speak and preach peace, because as they condemn others, they are also inciting and causing more havoc than good. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Catherine Omanya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a staggering moment where when you hear from the sources, the horse's mouth, you just say, I thought this was just something I was reading on the newspaper. So it is happening. I would really want every Kenyan who lives in Turkana or Pokot or any other area in Kenya that has like habitual banditry reports that and nothing is happening, it's like nothing is happening. I think our CS for security should take this as first priority. That area in Kenya is being mined, because if we look at Dubai, Qatar, they are deserts. But when you look at Turkana, with the potential it has, if we had actually our priorities right, Turkana would be feeding Kenya. So this insecurity has actually denied or taken away a lot from that area, because investors would be flocking there. I recently, when I visited in London, there is a monument of a Turkana boy there, and people flock there to just see that monument. If we took that monument back, because it's among our agenda as a country, take it back to Turkana, then when we will have dealt with the insecurity issues, Turkana will turn into a tourist attraction area. The boys, the younger people being raised there, witnessing all this, it causes tragic mental issues. And once somebody is psychologically affected, they can't think about progress. Because if any time they know that their life will be taken away, their life is in danger, then they can't really think progress or development seriously. They'll be surviving. We want every Kenyan to come from survival to thriving. And just recently when I witnessed, especially where I come from, Busia, so many policemen brought there, drawn there, just to go into people's homes, beating people who are seated peacefully. Why don't Kindiki take those many policemen to Turkana and deal with that issue once? Or take those bandits, train them to behave civically, be employed, and then take the police to the real bandits and deal with the situation. So I want actually our Kindiki to listen, especially if he watched my sister Cecile speaking. If he is a daddy and a leader in this nation, the children in Turkana are equally children of Kenya. And our children cannot be raised in an environment where mothers are hiding in the bush to sleep. They can't sleep in the house. If they are sick, somebody's pregnant, how do they even go to a hospital? And do we even have social amenities there? Who can be attracted to develop in a place where they know any time they will be thrown out or they'll be dead? So Turkana should be the Nairobi of northern part of Kenya. Turkana and everybody else who lives there, be it a Pokot or any other tribe, they should enjoy just like any other tribe in Kenya is enjoying. We are actually tired of hearing of Turkana, and we just know we will see a picture of a child with marasmus and kwashako. That is what I know. And then the next thing is the bandits happening again. It is time that our country started reorganizing the priorities so that security issues can be number one. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Julius Meli, Chair, Education Committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I just want to allow the Member of Parliament for Turkana East for actually raising this matter. This is a matter not for Turkana alone. This is a matter not for North Rift alone. This is a matter of concern to the Republic. It is a matter of great concern, especially when one part of the Republic has a problem, then the whole country suffers. We don't want to look at it as a matter of the region. And I want to say that we also no need to actually make one community look like it's a banditry community. There are certain criminals within communities, and they should be treated as criminals. Honorable Speaker, yesterday the CS Interior appeared before the Committee on Education. And the issues we talked about was insecurity in Northeastern, more so specifically how Al-Shabaab has actually killed a number of teachers, how it has affected education in Wajir, Marsabit, Tana River, and all that former northern frontier areas. So, Honorable Speaker, the kind of insecurity in Turkana is affecting education, it is affecting health, it is affecting tourism, it is affecting even the investment of this country. That is why when Honorable Chepkonga raised the issue that the CS should appear before the House, it is quite in order, because it is not a matter that we are actually going to debate and stop it there. It is a matter which is of great concern, because any investor outside there, when he sees a malnourished Turkana child, or a child from Garissa or Mandera or any part of this republic, it is Kenya. They don't want to just apportion to a particular region. So it is very important as we speak right now that what the Minister for Interior, and I want to laud him because of the kind of work he did in trying to restore normalcy in the areas of Baringo, West Pokot, and even Elgeyo Marakwet. Actually, there is some semblance of peace. That kind of force he used, and that kind of commitment that he put, and I want to say, the Excellency, the President said, let him set camps there. If it is possible to set military camps or GSU camps within Turkana or any part of this republic, let it be so, so that our people can live in peace, so that Kenyans can invest in Turkana, where it is said, it has a lot of underground water. It has a lot of natural resources, oil. It is not about shooting, it's not about cows, it is not about anything. It is about the lives of Kenyans. So, Honorable Speaker, as Honorable Kindiki tried to do a lot of good work in Marakwet and other areas, let him have the same resolve to make sure that the people of Turkana, the people of West Pokot, and all Kenyans of all walks of life are living in peace. Even the Kenyans who are in Lamu, in Tana River, and all other areas. And on that note, I also want to ask the leaders that it is not only the government and the police or the guns that are going to bring security. We need to sit down as leaders of our communities, make sure that we talk to our people on the need to coexist and to live as Kenyans. In some instances, Honorable Speaker, it takes, and I want to point this, like what the current government in Somalia is doing in trying to fight Al-Shabaab. They are engaging the local community, because the criminals live among the people. The people attacking in Turkana or West Pokot are members of the community. The leaders, the people know them. They need to come out and point out that you are a criminal, you are not killing on behalf of others. Actually, we need to have a very serious outlook on that. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and action needs to be taken, and the CS needs to come and give us his position. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, Education Committee. The Honorable Dr. Christine Mbaka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I would like to say that the issue of insecurity in this country has been debated in this House severally, and we always come up with what could be done, but we don't seem to apply that. Right now, we were talking, we've seen how in Shakahola, over 400 bodies have been exhumed, and this happened in broad daylight. People died, and when it was discovered, the entire security force were deployed there. Even the president visited the place. Big people, important people visited the place. But we don't seem to care about other areas where insecurity is taking place. Turkana and Northeastern has always had this problem for a long, long time. In Nyanza, we have Migingo. Fishermen are killed all the time. Nobody cares. So we are talking about insecurity, but we are being very selective. Some areas, the government responds very quickly. In some areas, they don't give a damn. What is happening? In my last contribution on this same motion, I suggested, and I felt it was a good one, that at least when insecurity is menacing and it's constantly taking place, the police can be deployed in the area. It does not look like that is happening. We have so many policemen that can be deployed in that area. And we have a strong police force that can curb the happenings that are taking place there. But we don't seem to use them. I don't know what is happening. Why are we not sending police to Northeastern to take care of this banditry? They can do it. I also suggested that you can do curfews. There are many methods that the government can use to stop that. We are very, very good in peacekeeping missions. We always travel. Our security forces are always deployed in other countries to go and bring peace. But we are not peaceful ourselves. These same security forces that bring peace in other countries are not being deployed in our own country to bring peace among ourselves. So I suggest that let us be serious with issues of banditry. Let us be serious with issues of insecurity. Take care of Northeastern. Take care of Shakahola and ensure that that does not happen again. I'm still seeing bodies being exhumed up to now. How many people have died in Shakahola? How many people have died in Turkana? Even if only 2 people are killed, for all these years, how many people have died in Turkana? If you can count the number of bodies that have been killed there. How many? How about Migingo? So we are actually losing so many people in piecemeal. 2 women are killed today, the next day 3, and another day 2, another time 5. If you add that in a year, how many people have died? I think we need to address the issue of insecurity very, very seriously, and it's not a matter of laughing. Otherwise, I support the idea that the Minister for Security come to this house and answer some questions. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Dr. Mbaka. The Honorable Beatrice Sadagala.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this chance to speak on matters of banditry and the rest in Turkana. Mr. Speaker, it is emotional the way the leaders of Turkana are talking. Now I've heard of the leader of West Pokot. It seems instead of leaders blaming each other, I think it's high time the Minister for Internal Security to be called in this house to answer questions concerning security of areas that are being hit by banditry, and especially Turkana. There are some counties in North Rift. That matter should be followed, Mr. Speaker, and make sure that people are not being killed day and night the way we are seeing. And it's not only the Turkanas. This is a free Kenya, and many Kenyans are staying there, Mr. Speaker. You'll find people coming from Vihiga who are staying in those areas. So it's a matter of national security to ensure Kenyans are safe wherever they are. And it is the duty of the state to ensure Kenyans are living peacefully in most of the counties. It is not only in North Rift, the same thing is happening in Lamu, it's happening all over. The Shakahola saga, you're finding that our people we are burying people day and night. Mr. Speaker, this issue of Maliza Uhalifu should be followed to the latter. The area has been actually gazetted as dangerous and a dangerous zone because of the war against the banditry that is taking place and cattle rustling. Turkana, Mr. Speaker, if you look at that land of Turkana, if you can compare with Israel, Turkana is a land that can feed Kenyans. From the onset, Turkana is a rich county. There are several minerals there. And if Turkana can be, it can be an example whereby the government can take charge of that land, do irrigation, this issue of men carrying sufurias for food, it will not occur. Kenyans will be able to be fed. I think it's high time the minister to come into this house to answer questions of members. Instead of, we debated it a few months ago when it was brought here. And now here we are discussing the same thing. We will keep on discussing and there's nothing that we shall achieve. The only thing that should happen, Mr. Speaker, sir, can the minister in charge come to this house and answer us and speak to us and tell us whether Turkana, West Pokot, Pokot as a whole, Marakwet, is it part of Kenya or they are not in this country? And I'm very sure, Mr. Speaker, if that is done, I think there'll be peace. We want to get food from Turkana. We want to see the Turkanas living well. Even me, I'll want to go and stay there. In my village, I have several women from Turkana who are married to my sons in my county. So we want more Turkanas to live happily like any other Kenyan, the way Kenyans are living happily in Nairobi here. So I can see Honorable from Budalangi admiring the girl from Turkana. I'm not sure is.
Honorable Mary Emase, before Teso.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I arise as one of the leaders from the Atakar communities in Kenya, of which the Turkana and the Iteso subscribe to join my cousins in condemning and my colleagues in condemning the insecurity attacks in Turkana and in the North Rift. Honorable Speaker, it is very sad. It's a very sad day indeed. And probably the questions we should be asking the CS. Does it mean that there's nothing this government can do to arrest the situation once and for all? Are we that helpless? Are we that helpless as a country? What will it take, the government, to stop and restore peace in the northern region? If it is resources, can we be told in the budget committee we allocate the resources so that we have enough in terms of resources needed to address the issue of insecurity in the North Rift? I remember in January 28 when the CS himself visited the region. After he left, there were several attacks in Turkana and other surrounding areas. So I want to join Honorable Meli, who has just alluded to the fact that this insecurity is not only affecting Turkana or the northern regions, it's affecting the entire country. As we sit here as leaders, each one of us, we have lost our constituents. I remember from the time of Baragoi, I buried so many of my youths. And those who survived resigned, never went back to serve the nation in their capacity as soldiers. I have lost my own Teso people in Kapedo, very senior ones, through landmines. We have buried all of us, seated here in this house. And we continue to speak about insecurity. In my county, this insecurity is affecting the economy of this country. We have women and business people from Busia who collect dry fish in Turkana to come and sell in Busia. Insecurity is affecting free movement, is affecting transportation, is affecting many other sectors. So we are told that insecurity is caused by this banditry, and that this banditry is part and parcel of the culture of the people of the northern region. But even the Constitution itself says, the lawyers can help me with the article, that if there are any cultural practices that are not beneficial anymore, that have negative impact, they should be discouraged. So if banditry is a matter of culture, something can still be done about it. But it is very unfortunate and it is sad at this era and age that this country continue to speak about insecurity. I think something has got to be done. Honorable Kindiki, I know you're listening to us. You are trying, but I want to tell you, try harder. Do something to address the issue of insecurity in Northern. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Beatrice Elachi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I want to thank you first, so that now men can understand why, when we are in a house of 290 and you are only a few, this is how sometimes we feel. But having said that, Mr. Speaker, I rise to also...
Honorable Beatrice, you are not favored. You are on top of the list.
Thank
and because it is an issue keeping everybody in the house, I'm going by the list.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So this is not about, gender insensitivity. Actually, the person following you would be now men for quite some time. So proceed because time is short.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also rise to just appreciate this adjournment, but also to now start by saying that it is very sad, Mr. Speaker, in the days of our new constitution, us thinking as Kenyans at that time that it is lack of resources in the regions that we have that create insecurity. But we have been proven now wrong. Because when you look at the resources government is giving to the counties, Turkana nearly 10, 12 billion. It means there's something else now government has to think beyond just the resources. That we have to think and see, is it possible now to support these counties as much as they have resources? Government has to come in and create very serious infrastructure that can turn around, not just the one road that Turkana will see that goes up to the border, Mr. Speaker, but try and create inlets so that they are able to start seeing the economy can grow by coming and bringing things to Lodwar and other places and Kapenguria and Kitale. We need to also ask the agencies. It is not just about the police. It is time they go, all of them, even the army. Why can't we have a barracks around there, but a barracks that will bring and grow the economy, that will create wealth for them? It will come in, it will build schools, it will do agriculture, it will bring that water, and you bring the resources that are making every day people fight because of water, because of lack of pasture. All these things will grow. That we need to rethink, how do we now sit down with Pokot, Turkana, and any other in the belt and see what is the real issue. But also the leaders here should help us. Because tell me, if you are a leader, definitely you understand the problem. They should be put in that program properly without saying this is the politician. They must be a multi-agency that works together for the benefit of the people of the north. Imagine Turkana, the only lake we have that is inland, that is in nowhere else. The best in the world that people look at and wonder. But today we are still talking, Mr. Speaker, of all these things. Is it education that we are lacking? We should ask ourselves. But lastly, Mr. Speaker, even as we speak this, we need to look at the red belts that we are having in Africa and ask ourselves what young people are trying to communicate and see how governments should work with young people to transform all this insecurity we are in. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Julius Nkulu.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, because today seems to have been a ladies' day. But, Mr. Speaker, I think it is not for nothing that the ladies are speaking to this motion, because they speak from their heart. And they realize more than ourselves sometimes that the senseless fights have a lot of attrition on their children and on their property. And I really commend the strong spirit in which they have come today. Mr. Speaker, long ago, I used to drive from Gitalia to Lodwar. And the road was a very, very good one. Even the spoiled parts from Chapararia to Ortum, those days were like a few minutes you would drive there. And there was absolutely no threat to security. But over time, we have lost very many people there. We even lost a friend of mine called Japheth Ekidor, who was a member of parliament of that area, because of the insecurity of the area. And the casualties can be counted from both sides, from both the Turkanas and as well as from the Pokots. Now, Mr. Speaker, I would say the problem is as follows. First, we have been attributing the conflict in the north as a fight for resources. Sometimes we say it is due to stock theft. But I can see a new trend and a new cause of clashes and a new cause of these things called banditry. Banditry is a very dangerous thing because, you know, there is no community that can organize banditry against another one. Usually, in the traditional sense, if the Turkanas have a dispute with the Pokots, they would go to war with the Pokots. And it would be known that they are fighting over water. They would be known that they would be fighting over resources. And then mediators would be called upon to come and discuss the issue. What are these people fighting about? But when it is a bandit, it is really not a community interest. It is a security interest. And I would plead with the minister and the minister in charge of internal security to now begin investing more on understanding these evolving disputes in the north, and to actually begin to see what kind of interventions can be made. Because you see, dealing with a problem in Lamu may not be exactly the same as dealing with a problem in Lodwar. Maybe it might also call for changing the way we train our askaris, so that we know that we train some who are specialized in dealing with this new evolving or mutating fight. Because this is no longer normal. This is no longer the same fight that we used to know. And we cannot deal with it using old tools. We require to have peace in the north, and we want to have Turkana the way it used to be, because Lodwar was a rising star, and we want it to continue to be a rising star, and we don't want to have insecurity dimming the lights of the Turkanas or the Pokots. Let's go seriously into this thing. I support.
Honorable John Mutunga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to also support this motion. Honorable Speaker, this adjournment motion comes in when we have witnessed a lot of issues happening across the country and some effort by the government. I would like to say that, Honorable Speaker, we need to be more strategic in our efforts, in whatever it is that we are doing to contain deviance and to contain insecurity. Insecurity spreading in any part of the country means Kenya is unsafe. And if any part of Kenya people are dying, we have lost it. We need to do something about it. We are here today speaking about Turkana, Honorable Speaker. And when we explore or dive deep into what it is that is causing this insecurity,